It's okay. Off your mind, it's okay. Off your mind,
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo. Man of the masses, oh, my ego don't come, oh, my ego diary politico, oh, my ego don't come, oh, this man not the off in mind, my ego don't come, oh, aha. Now you not done here, all these bad politicians, then we call themselves politicians. When they thief our money, we no want make the common man get waiting supposed get for this country. And I never hear something. Now go hear one, my ego. You go show na paper. My ego diary political. So my people make you shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Mayegun la wa mo la mo dododo. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun la wa mo la mo dododo. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary, lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun Diary, na him be number one.
Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, na him be number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Presido bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Hello there, brethren. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and a good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is brunch time with Mayegun live. And thank you very much for joining me. Remember, our brunch time is also an open mic where you can phone in anytime, right? Either to contribute to what we are talking about or something else that you've always wanted to share, right? So after reading the caption of the broadcast, read the description of the broadcast as well. Then like it, right? Share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends and tell them, well, it is another brunch time. This time, we are looking into the national or annual convention of the Nigerian Bar Association. So Nigerian Bar Association is pretty much like the Association of Nigerian Lawyers. Both old, new, young, old, and all that. And yeah, so they are supposed to be the law officers in Nigeria, those who are supposed to be the champions of the rule of law. But unfortunately, the majority of their members are very much key partners in the legalization of corruption, institutionalized corruption in Nigeria, and how criminals, especially the political criminals in Nigeria, have been able to get away with all of their crimes. So they called a conference that they themselves felt like it was time to reflect on how kind of like low the Nigerian judiciary has become, how themselves and their members have corrupted the judiciary or helped the judiciary's corruption to become institutionalized. In the process, justice became a commodity that anyone with money could just purchase in Nigeria. No thanks to these lawyers too. Because if you remember, when Bokwari, that Daura lifeless mannequin, when he was asked for his academic qualification, which ordinarily would have disqualified him from even vying for the position of the presidency of that contraption, it was the lawyers. 42 sons, senior advocate of New Sons, assembled for Bokwari to defend the NEPA certificate, and they won. Eventually, they proved to all of us that you may be requiring an educated person with proven certificates or certification before you can employ them into your own firm or business, right? But to become the president of Nigeria, all it requires is just your primary success certificate. At most, your secondary school certificate. Your secondary school certificate. But a lot of you have really invested so much in your academic pursuits, and still you couldn't secure any real good job simply because, you still probably don't have enough that they are looking for. But to become the president or the governor in Nigeria, you don't need any university or any degree or anything. With your primary success certificate, you can vie to become president of Nigeria, and they'll give you the #1 job. So Bokwari had no secondary school certificate at all. They manufactured one for him, no thanks to these lawyers, of course. He had the power, so they couldn't really do anything. Rather, they defended it. When Tifnumbu's drug case popped up in 1999, as early as the year 2000, Chief or late Chief Gani Fawayemi was on Tifnumbu. He had all the evidence. His drug dealings, his Chicago State, University of Chicago, Chicago State University. Because some of you might have forgotten, right? Tifnumbu is claiming Chicago State University today. In 1999, Tifnumbu actually submitted a fake result that said he went to University of Chicago, which was a lie. It was discovered by Chief Gani Fawayemi. He pursued Tifnumbu Sote against those who defended him, lawyers. Femi Falana, the sandpaper Falana. So he was the chief defender of Tifnumbu at the time. Not only did he manage to get Tifnumbu out of the trouble, he was able to convince Tifnumbu that the only way to get out of the trouble was to get the State House of Assembly on his side. Lawyers. That Tifnumbu is your president today, and when his own drug case finally pops up at the national level, who are those who defended him? Lawyers. One of them even came out and said, the case of him forfeiting money for drug dealing in America is now over 10 years. That means the statute of limitation, the statute of something has barred Nigeria from prosecuting Tifnumbu or even questioning him on his drug dealing, heroin trafficking in America. Lawyers in Nigeria did that. They stood in their court, in their Supreme Court. They defended all kinds of criminals. Yaya Bello is walking about today. Do you know who got him out? Lawyers. Most of them were in that conference too. So then they had the Sultan of Sokoto there too, who also kind of backed Julius Malema, their guest speaker. They invited him from South Africa. You know Julius. So the Sultan of Sokoto categorically told them that except if anybody is deceiving himself, which many are actually deceiving themselves. The Sultan of Sokoto said, justice in Nigeria is now purchasable, where rich criminals are walking free and the poor criminals are doing time, jail time. That the only people who are supposed to help or fight any form of lawlessness in this field, they are supposed to be the lawyers. Anyway, the president of Nigerian Bar Association, the new one, the current one, seems to be trying his best to prove that his own leadership is not going to be in bed with, dictators and lawbreakers somehow. Because, you know what, this their conference was supposed to be held in Port Harcourt in Rivers State, and then Tifnumbu declared state of emergency. Fortunately, they themselves are not really clean, as it is alleged that Fulbara actually paid them billions of naira. That was with a wicked allegation. He gave billions of naira to NBA, Nigerian Bar Association, in order to bring the hosting of their conference to Port Harcourt. Well, they didn't deny it. They said, yeah, he didn't give the money to any individual. He gave it to the Nigerian Bar Association, right? So they didn't do anything wrong. Wirewike demanded that they refunded the money. They said no. So they didn't. But in protest against Tifnumbu's decision of removing a democratically elected governor by his suspension, right? So in their protest, they took it to Enugu, where everything now took place yesterday. So the president told everyone that, well, it's just so you know that they are not in bed with lawbreakers, and so on and so on and so on. Sultan spoke, Julius spoke, and their message seems to be about the burdens the leadership have brought upon Africa, Africans, Nigeria, Nigerians, where politically exposed people are more interested in their own affair, and they will do anything to protect that, including playing to the gallery for the imperialist. That's how Julius Malema put it. For those who know Julius Malema very well, right? It's kind of like a pro, one African, a united African with one president, one currency, and administrative blocks scattered all over the place. A very united, strong Africa. There's so many. Others are like, before you get to the point of having one president in Africa, how about you make a movement for Africans within Africa easier? Another, colonial drawn borders that has put a limitation to Africans within Africa, that it is actually easier, right, for a Westerner from outside Africa to tour Africa than it is for an African or Africans to tour African countries. So many questions, many stuff going on there, right? So I am going to share some of their thoughts with you, with us. Then I'll take calls at some point, as we normally do, right? So let's go to that their Enugu conference. Start with this.
When we reached out to Julius Malema to present this keynote speech, he made only two requests. One is that we must book an appointment for him to visit President Olusegun Obasanjo to convey the gratitude of South Africans to him for the assistance given to them during the apartheid regime. He also made a second request that we should arrange for him to pay a visit to the family of late Ken Saro-Wiwa to enable him pay his last respects to the memory of Ken Saro-Wiwa. When we reach...
Yeah, made those requests. Now we're coming to the xenophobia part later. All right. So, and there are a few others who also made some introductory statements and their conference highlighted, okay? Then we'll listen to that long speech of Malema himself, and then as well as that of the Sultan of Sokoto as well. And you can hear your own view, not just in the comments. You can pick up the phone, right? Let's go back in there. Here.
This conference was originally slated for Port Harcourt. As at September last year, it was known that the conference would be hosted in Port Harcourt. However, it was shifted to Enugu in April this year. Between April and now is 4 months. In 4 months, we have done what others usually do in 12 months. We thank our governor, Mr. Mba, who more or less built this international conference center within 1 year and 8 months of his becoming the governor. We would not have been here but for this international conference center, which is the best in the country. We thank President Afam Osigwe for the courage in appointing Enugu the host of the conference. The decision of the president of the NBA to move the conference from Port Harcourt to Enugu in the face of the egregious decision to appoint a military administrator of Arewas State will go down as one of the most courageous decisions by a president of the NBA.
Mr. President's leadership has made members of the Nigerian Bar Association heroes of the rule of law and democracy in Nigeria. If it was business as usual, this conference would not hold in Enugu. In bringing the annual general conference to Enugu 22 years since the last one held in 2003, the leadership of the bar and the annual general conference planning committee wrote, and I quote, "Consequently, and in alignment with the overwhelming position of NEC and the broader AGC, that is the broader membership, we are compelled to relocate the 2025 annual general conference to a state where constitutional democracy remains intact." End of quote. The Nigerian Bar Association is indeed standing out and standing tall. No less worthy of praise is our pace-setting governor, His Excellency Dr. Peter Ndubisi, who has not only made it possible for democracy and the rule of law to flourish in Enugu State, but has made Enugu the...
Crazy stuff, right? And guess what? Mba, that is taking the praise or the praises, will grab the microphone and then transfer the entire praises they are giving to him, or democratic or developmental, and it will give everything to Tifnumbu. So I want to thank everybody here, especially I want to thank Mr. President for allowing democracy to work in Enugu. It's not a real place. Now here is the Sultan of Sokoto, who told his gathering, you know, what he himself observed about the rule of law in Nigeria, justice system. And you all know that. Obviously, you probably won't get anything from it, right? So there are those who are currently, you know, debating why the Sultan of Sokoto was called in as the royal father of the day in the eastern Nigeria, when the Obi, I think it's Obi of Onitsha, is the, you know, is the chair of the southeast traditional rulers or something. So people are having that convo on the side. Well, I heard that. Here, the Sultan himself on the rule of law in that contraption. Listen.
This is spot on. Today, justice is increasingly becoming purchasable commodity, and the poor are becoming victims of miscarriage of justice, while the rich commit all matters of crime and walk the streets scot-free. That by this theme, you are resolving to stand out and tall on the scale of justice is certainly highly commendable. In other words, you are resolving to uphold the highest principles of the rule of law, precisely to ensure that everyone, including those in power, are subject to and accountable under the law, and that the law is applied fairly and equally, so that no one operates above the law. If you are able to do this, you would have addressed the core of the crisis of governance in this. This is...
And he's not lying. It is the truth. If you want progress as a country, you must prioritize rule of law. Rule of law is what checkmates everyone. Do you understand? Rule of law is the reason why, whether you are rich or poor, once you commit a crime, you go to jail. Now, if you see a rich man, a powerful man that is being sent to jail for what is just done, or what he did, right? And you want to commit that same crime, you obviously know that you are going to jail too. So you're not going to feel bad when a judge says, I am sentencing you to 10 years imprisonment. In fact, being in position of authority, in position of a privilege, should warrant even more like punishment when they break the law. So that gives the society the clarity to say, hey, do everything according to the law, you are fine. Or if you transgress against the law, this is what will happen. It doesn't matter who you are. Now, such society will have what is called orderliness. And it doesn't matter, even within that same society, you're going to have people who are going to want to try to usurp that power or try to kind of like, scheme around it. But since it is a tight-proof system, they will get caught. And once they are caught, they go to jail. But that's not Nigeria. You know that. It didn't start today. It's just that some of us were kids decades ago. We are now grown adults. Many of us are just wondering, like, is this actually how you guys were older than us? Is this how it was when you were also, so curious? Makes us more like concluded that a society that is so lawless and some individuals are above the law is a failed society. If it hasn't failed already, well, it's got all the potentials to fail. And that's what the contraption is. Now, to Malema himself. Julius Malema is also hated by his fellow Black South Africans, by the way, just so you know, because he is considered as a simp for foreigners. They have a group called the Dudula movement or Dudula something. They are vigilantes. They go about harassing, their fellow Africans, mostly in their country, and they blame them for all their woes. Oh, these guys comes into our country, they bring in drugs, they do prostitution, they traffic our girls, and blah, blah, de blah, de blah, de blah. Meanwhile, South Africa is also a partly broken system too, just so you know, okay? So in that same broken system, those who are supposed to look inward, look at themselves, ask questions from or hold their own leaders responsible, they put the blames on immigrants, this time their fellow Africans, to even make it worse. I'm not saying that there are no foreigners in South Africa who are committing crimes. So no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that to an average South African, they are not as enraged as they are towards their fellow Africans, non-South Africans. And I'm talking about a kind of like a well-oiled sort of like xenophobia, hatred towards their fellow Africans. And to them is justified. The reason why they don't have jobs is because their fellow Africans are coming to South Africa to take the jobs. The reason why their businesses are not moving is because their fellow Africans are coming into South Africa and they are opening businesses that are only meant for South Africans, and other sundry stupid excuses that have made them to actually commit murder. They've killed people, burned people alive, their fellow Africans, and they have no regrets. If you meet any of them for real, right, they have no regrets. So when someone is now from South Africa, a politician who is very, very popular too, right? So Julius Malema is a Pan-Africanist, as you can tell, and his fellow South Africans, part of them, actually hates him. He's been known to have kind of like stood up for these foreigners and demanded that any of them that commits crime should actually be treated, right? They should be tried according to the South African laws. But that's not enough. He is believed to be an enabler. He's believed to be one of the enablers of Africans coming to South Africa. It's a very tough conversation, by the way. But somehow, yeah, he's still like Julius Malema is seen partly, right, as the last descendant of their struggle, the ANC struggle at the time. Somebody who still holds that grudge against the imperialistic, call them, right, against the West, how his own ancestors were treated. He himself also treated, and the way he felt like they might be in power in South Africa, okay? So they might be ruling in South Africa, but they are not in power. blacks may be ruling in South Africa, but the blacks are not really in power. Somebody like Malema believes that. That is why most of the time it's sort of like a panders towards his fellow Pan-Africanists in a way to say, well, maybe this whole place is still revivable. And there are others who believe that maybe one day it's going to be their president in South Africa. And you are going to experience a different South Africa. A lot to unpack. But here, this is a full speech. I'm going to let the whole thing run. So sit back. Maybe you should bring out your pen, because that's what I'm going to do too. So that when I come back, I can pick some of his points, speak on them. Malema's full speech at their MBA conference in Enugu yesterday.
Comrades, as I close, I want to state that as Africans, our fight has never been confined to the borders. From the very beginning, the struggle of South Africa against apartheid, we knew that suffering of one oppressed people anywhere in the world is the suffering of all oppressed people everywhere. It was in that spirit that South Africa, during its liberation struggle, was embraced by Nigeria and other African nations, who declared that apartheid was not simply a South African problem, but an African and global crime. It is in that same spirit that today we say our liberation as Africans will remain incomplete if we turn a blind eye to the struggles of those who continue to suffer under occupation, colonialism, imperialism, and economic exploitation. It is this tradition of solidarity that compels us today to speak clearly on the struggle of other oppressed people. The EFF continues to stand firmly with Western Sahara, Palestine, Cuba, Haiti, the Democratic Republic of Congo as a commitment to international law and justice. In Western Sahara, Morocco's continued occupation violates the principle of the United Nations Charter and the African Union's Constitutive Act, both of which enshrined the right to self-determination. The International Court of Justice affirmed in 1975 that Morocco had no sovereignty over Western Sahara. Yet, decades later, the Sahrawi people remain dispossessed. In Palestine, we are witnessing one of the gravest violations of international law in modern history. The apartheid regime of Israel has for decades defied UN resolutions, the Geneva Conventions, and international humanitarian law. Collective punishment, the bombing of hospitals, the illegal taking of land, the killing of children, and the deliberate starvation of populations are crimes under the Roman Statute of the International Criminal Court. The world cannot remain neutral in the face of genocide. And just as apartheid South Africa was declared a crime against humanity, so too must be the international community recognize and act against Israel's apartheid and genocide. The importance of fighting on the level of the law was made evident in this case when the South African government took Israel to International Court of Justice to report their crimes when no other country will do so. This fight in international court was won when the court declared that indeed Israel was perpetuating genocide, a win that was necessary to sway some support away from Israel and to embolden other countries to speak out. This fight also led to the International Criminal Court to issue a warrant of arrest for the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his Minister of Defense for war crimes. This is the power of the legal fraternity in the global fight for the oppressed. However, the ICJ pace is slow and final judgment on charging Israel with genocide has not occurred yet. We must therefore confront the uncomfortable truth that the slow pace of these proceedings is not accidental, but reflects a global legal order designed and maintained under white supremacy. International law is swift and ruthless when prosecuting leaders of the global south, yet hesitant and cautious when dealing with crimes committed by Western powers or their allies. This is hypocrisy we must name without fear. When an African leader is accused, indictments are issued overnight. Sanctions are imposed immediately. Military interventions justified under the banner of international law. However, when Israel starves children in Gaza or the United States and its allies invade nations and topples governments, the same institutions suddenly discover restraint, complicity, and delay. As the legal fraternity of Africa, you cannot accept this double standard. You must be bold enough to create alternative and fair systems of accountability that do not bend to imperialist interests. If the so-called international community is unwilling to deliver justice in real time, then Africa must advance its own courts, its own tribunals, its own instruments of solidarity and protection. Just as we build liberation movements when colonialism denied us freedom, so too must we build new legal institutions when the existing ones fail us. In Cuba, for over 60 years, the United States has imposed an economic blockade in contravention of international law, including the principle of non-interference and the sovereign right of nations to choose their social and economic system. Despite this, Cuba has demonstrated a profound commitment to human solidarity, sending doctors across the globe, including to Africa, welcoming Africans into their classrooms and participating in the liberation of the oppressed. Cuba never sent their soldiers anywhere to kill anyone. Instead, they send their doctors all over to go and save life. The tragedy of Haiti is one of historical injustice. Haiti's revolution was first declaration of black freedom in the modern world, yet it was punished with centuries of economic sabotage and enforced debt. Contrary to any principle of justice, today, Haiti suffers from foreign interference, the denial of sovereignty, and the imposition of external governance. International law demands reparation, debt cancellation, and the withdrawal of foreign forces so that Haiti can govern itself in dignity. We have seen DRC not experiencing peace because of its mineral resources. We must stand with DRC and demand that there must be permanent peace in DRC and everywhere else in Africa. Because DRC without peace, it will never experience economic growth. We are because DRC it is. We are the people of Southern Sudan. We must make sure that no single corner of Africa there are guns where Africans are killing each other. Africans must always be together against the enemy forces who want to exploit our country. We are here today.
Malema. So he's the leader of the EFF. He was the youth leader of the ANC, Africa National Congress, I think, ANC, the party of Mandela, Mbeki, and others. So he disagreed with the leadership styles of those men, and he led his own fellow youth, South Africans, to form a new party, a party that ended up becoming the opposition in their National Assembly. And since then, Malema has been projected to be not just a kind of like an embodiment of Pan-Africanism, but back home, most of his security call him the president of foreigners. You're right, president of the foreigners. The whites in South Africa, they despise him so much. In fact, they said he's always calling for genocide on them, right? So, and because of this, America have singled him out as a person of interest, so to say. Is that a spat with Trump on this, their global politics and exchanges? And when Trump decided to bring in the oppressed South Africans, white South Africans to America, Malema and Trump, or Trump's office, were having all this spat about America being deceived by the whites, who claims to be, long story. Here is the other part of his chart. Let's see if we can possibly take that in. One second.
Comrades, as I close, I want to state that as Africans, our fight has never been confined to the borders. From the very beginning, the struggle of South Africa against apartheid, we knew that suffering of one oppressed people anywhere in the world is the suffering of all oppressed people everywhere. It was in that spirit that South Africa, during its liberation struggle, was embraced by Nigeria and other African nations, who declared that apartheid was not...
Sorry, that's the other one. Somehow I couldn't put that up. It's all right. Let's go to something else because of our time. All right. So there's something about injustice that people need to understand why they can't keep quiet in the face of injustice being suffered by others, no matter the motive, no matter the agenda, because you are not safe. Remember that that long quote that they came for the Christians. I didn't care because I'm not a Christian. Then they came for the Muslims. But because I'm not a Muslim, so I didn't care. Then they came for the Hindus, the Jews. Then they came for the socialists, right? And then they came for, when they came for everybody, so I want to use it as my own quote now. They came for everyone because I wasn't everyone. I kept my mouth shut and I mind my business. Then one day they came for me. You know what happened? There was nobody to speak for me because everybody was gone. That's exactly the situation of injustice. And when you hear the word injustice anywhere, is a threat to justice anywhere. It simply means that if you, in the face of injustice and all that, if you keep quiet, what you're doing is, right, you are boxing yourself to the corner because one day it will be your turn and there will likely be no one else to speak for you. On Mayegun's Diary Politico, I choose to hear the, the happenings in that contraption, in every part of the contraption. And I've always also been sharing those who are responsible for it, just so you are able to understand that those who are suffering from the injustice in the hands of those who they are suffering from. Once they are done with them, you that think you are safe from it, you will realize that you are not safe. So what am I saying? Last year was one hell of a year after their 2023 charade, when their bigotry, went national. And since then, it's been one chaos after the other. So the APC, if you are not on their side, if you are not on their side, you are not an opposition, you are an enemy. And they have the right to use everything within everything at their disposal to destroy you. Now, what makes it even worse is that things have gone tribal, ethnic, and worse. Yeah. So immediately after their charade in 2023, the Ronukus were everywhere. They were insisting that for the Igbos that did not vote for Tifnumbu, they must be removed from Lagos. Their shops must be destroyed. It was a general campaign everywhere, except if you are now looking at me and acting surprised. Don't. And of course, the government of Lagos State started their clandestine demolitions everywhere. People's landed documents were kind of cancelled. They became irrelevant. Shops, markets were targeted, demolished. It was chaotic. In fact, around that time was the time that a lot of the Easterners were campaigning that you are just a stupid person if you actually carry your money right now to say you want to go and invest in their Lagos. It was that bad, right? Or so many others were saying, it's true now. Yeah, how can you come to somebody's land and you are not you are not supporting the person controlling the land? You are against it. And that's what they're saying. No, you are against Tifnumbu, that means you are against the Yorubas. If you are against Tifnumbu's politics, if you are not supporting Tifnumbu's politics, it is considered as being enemy of Yorubas by these Ronukus, these Ronu Omoalis, Ronu bastards. So, everybody moved on, I think. In fact, I actually saw I read where the Ronukus were saying, look at the Hausas, look at the Northerners, they are doing their business. Nobody is touching them and all that nonsense. It was like, chase them out of Lagos. Meanwhile, something happened. Something also happened that is not really so publicized, and it got doused. The tension was like a doused. That was when the Lagos state government started the demolition of Alaba Rago market in Lagos. Immediately, their newly elected ANPP governor of Kano, Abba Yusuf, flew to Lagos and drove straight to that Alaba and told them that they've resolved it, that he's met with Sonweku. They won't demolish their shops anymore, so everything is fine. That was 2 years ago, July 2023 to be precise. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday the story changed. Lagos state government came again. They had to go. And while those people are picking the remnants and the leftover of their ruins, some of them spoke to the media. And in their statement, they said they have been abiding, that they have been here since for over 50 years. They've settled, they built that place, they settled, they got the document. The Lagos state government, right, gave them the land, which simply means that they paid whatever they needed to pay in order to become theirs. They had document to back all of that up. But all of that document expired finally 48 hours ago. And then demolition started. So one of them now said, since 1999, they have been voting for AD. They voted for AC. They supported ACN. They are supporting APC right now. Is this what they are going to compensate us with? I calm down. That is what the injustice actually looks like. So if you make too much noise, maybe they can say they should go and find the land for you at Ogolonto in Ikorodu. You can start all over again. Somebody needs the land. And this time around, whether you've been supporting them from 1960, that's your own cup of tea. Right? Now I'll give you a throwback first. This was August, a year ago, August 2024 at Alaba International Market. One guy was there and he said he was a lawyer, and I know my right, I know the constitution. I don't even know where the guy is, the man is right now.
I now report live from Alaba International Market, fancy and furniture section. Auto the table. I go to Alaba International Market na fancy and furniture section. And Ochicho Bodabo, Lagos State government, Garebata. Yeah, all the people known at this plaza, quick notice. Immediately quick notice that demolition, now get demolition ever at any given time. Or wherever go to Yorubaland, I want to Alaba news not ever. Which will go through here from the bridge of fancy and furniture down here, down to Canal, that everybody can see people parking all their property. It's not a small something. We are begging on the state government to have mercy. Alaba is reporting live from Alaba International Market, Ojo, Lagos.
Apple, ọbụnadị maka ebe a chọrọ ịkụkọ shop tomorrow morning. Ọ bụ Jagbi Obigo Jr. from the Son of the King na-ewutere na ọbụnadị ka o si gbatakwuru n'oge awa dị otu a. Anyị wee bịa ebe a fụ nwanne anyị nwoke Nchekwube Ogbuọgụ. Nna wee na-asị nwanne anyị ka ị gwa anyị nke na-eme ebe a.
Governor of Lagos State, Nandi atụnyere ọrụ ya votu na o nwetara votu from Lagos State. Alaba International. Tinubu na onwe ya na-ekwu na Alaba atụnyere ọrụ ya. So na anyị jeje tụalụ our brother. So wee jezie ibrace ya. Today ka anyị nọ, o wee kpọrọ ndị polisi bịa more than 100.
Wonderful.
Monday hammer. Wee si anyị na anyị akpapụ ebe a. Na onye ọbụla like ngwaahịa ya, ngwaahịa ya this night.
Wonderful.
Na onye ọbụla na-like ngwaahịa ya, na ibu na onye ọbụla na-like from now to 6 o'clock na ngwaahịa ahụ na ọ ya bụrụ ndị ya ma mgbe.
Wonderful.
So na katapilo ya bịa ebe a.
Ife na-eme tata.
Ihe niile.
Ihe na-eme tata.
Ife na-eme kịta 3 hours speed notice ka Lagos State.
Wonderful.
3 hours speed notice. Onye ọbụla wee na-ebu ngwa ahịa ya. Ụnụ wọchị ụnụ
afụla afụ.
Thank you very much. Now I assume office 3 years ago. I'll be rounding up by October. He assumed office 2 years ago. He assumed office not up to 1 year. We have the leadership of Alaba International Market. The Lagos State knows that we exist. The local government knows that we exist. Have they called the leadership of Alaba International Market and bring this into our notice? The answer is no. The answer is no. Look at the every man controlling this market. And that is why we have Alaba Amalgamated Council of Section and Heads. So that when there is problem, we go to the appropriate authorities. The day they came to my office, I was having a meeting, a joint meeting of the BOT, Head Council, and the officers. I saw almost 100 armed mobile policemen. I came out to address them and said, this place is a market place, why are you fighting us? They said they are for demolition, these people are laughter or whatever. I said, if you come to the leadership of Alaba and get them, we will work hand in hand with you. We will not disturb the federal government from us, the government from doing their job. But at least you need to notify us. They will not call our people. Your own building is involved. Your own is involved. How do you go about it? Is it about, bringing it down, putting it to standards, or acquiring the necessary documents that is required for you to acquire? Or do they want to reclaim the land and give it to so-called their business counterpart that came out from China like I had, that want to develop for the purpose? No problem. With time, the world will know if actually what they came for is for the business buildings, or they are giving this place for a foreigner to come and develop markets inside Alaba International Market. Let me tell you, I know about the position of Nigeria. I'm a political scientist. You understand? That's why I'm a trainer. I'm not a novice. So many of us are graduates, some of us are master degree holders. Now, what we practice in Nigeria is true federalism. If actually it's true federalism, an Igbo man can become a chairman in other local governments. The Yoruba man can become a chairman in the Enugu government in Igbo land. So I don't discriminate. I'm a true Nigerian. So I don't believe in all those kind of rumors. Even me as a chairman, there are rumors flying out. But I don't want to give here to that kind of rumors. But I am talking about what is worth doing is worth doing. These are your citizens, these are your brothers, these are your people. Why can't you give them time? If actually since 2016 is when they have come to issue this notice, what about the incoming government? The new generation that doesn't know what is going on. Actually, the governor visited us here during the campaign. Mr. Governor, you visited us here, our friend. Even though in the election, I know that some people voted according to their conscience. Some of them voted because we love you. You are our friend. You can't tell me that you are not seeing this thing that is happening to us. Even if this thing is going to take place, why don't you do it in the right way? Why don't you give your people at least that listening ear? Why don't you hear from the leaders of Alaba? You know me as the amalgamated president. You know my brother as the president of IMA. You know my brother is the president of UPA, you know all of us. Why don't you tell those authorities to go to them and tell their people to pack their things? Give us 1 month, give us 2 months. It's not too much. This Alaba international market that is generating millions of naira into the purse of the federal government and that of the state and that of the local government. Now our people have now asking a question, what is our offense? What have we done? Are we not Nigerians? This thing they are doing now, we have lost billions of naira here. Our people are in tears. They are crying. But I say, Mr. Governor, please, come for justice with us.
Some of them, right, ended up in serious debt that they are still wallowing. Refused that died because of that action. And others, they've gathered the remnant of what was left from their ruins in order to rebuild their lives. Now, you see, these actions like this we always call for a general sort of like a sober reflection. So questions that people will ask would be like that man was asking in that video, that are they not Nigerians? If there is any sort of like a decisions, right, to be made, it has to at least involve the other parties so that they are aware that, okay, we are doing this for this purpose or for that purpose. And in your own country, right, where you are not layabout, where you are contributing massively to the economic well-being of the country, that makes you a stakeholder, a very important stakeholder. But here is the catch. They've already been hearing it just, before the troublesome election they had, the charade. So they've been hearing the rumors enough that some of the major markets in Lagos, right, are to be sold to either the Lebanese or the Chinese. And the only way they could get rid of the people from those markets is to enforce and, sort of like a state-sponsored demolition. That would first send everybody away first. Then maybe the conversation about, okay, what should we do or what should we not do? How should we compensate them will come after. But the first thing is displace them. So the question then is, again, are we not Nigerians? Are we not your brothers? That's a question that is also begging for, do we not really matter in the scheme of things? Like the Ronukus have succeeded, just so you know, in dividing Nigeria even further. Okay, so to them, Ronukus, Tifnumbu and his interest first. Then maybe, just maybe, Hausas, Fulanese, Chinese, Lebanese, Americans, and every other one you can think of, Saudis and others, before they will finally now come to, but there is no Hausa Fulani there, to the Ronukus, Tifnumbu's interest first. Lebanese, Chinese, Indians, Brazilians, Westerners, and then at the bottom, you have the Hausa, Fulani. They can also list like another 300 tribes in Nigeria before they will now mention the Igbos in that order. It's crazy, yeah? To them, the Igbos, right? They shouldn't even feature at all in anything when they are talking about Nigeria. So whatever they can do to get rid of them, which is impossible on its own. Like, people who are pretty much stronger than them have not been able to do that anyway. It's unfortunate though that when you look at these Ronukus and their behaviors, a lot of people are beginning to, bigots like that, beginning to relate that to represent the Yorubas when it doesn't. Because if you have to be honest with yourself, you realize that the same hatred that the Ronukus have for those of you who are non-Yorubas, especially the Igbos, right, is similar to the same hatred they have for their own supposed fellow Yorubas, who publicly, right, tear this druggy and his co-travelers naked in the public. It's the same hatred. The same violence campaign against non-Yorubas in this regard is what they have for the Yorubas. That is, that are not, singing the honest mandate. Very unfortunate people. And again, just a reminder, it was never about Yorubaland. Because you see inside our markets that they are demolishing, there are Yorubas who are making their daily living from that place too. But because they are so blinded with the tribal ethnic hatred that they have now weaponized politically, they don't care. Some of the properties in this market are owned by Yorubas. Some of them. They are landlord inside that place, but they didn't care. Demolish everything because the Igbos are there. So what would you say the Hausas have done in this regard as well, that they disregarded whatever arrangement they have with them or what have you, and they brought their katakata to start the demolitions like this 2 days ago? Olórí burúkú di méjì, àbí kí lorúkọ ẹ̀, jẹ́ orúkọ yẹn dáadáa náà. Olórí burúkú di méjì dìran. Pops, I see your comment. Checking for any answer. All right. This one. Mayegun, I put it to you. You are an IPOB apologist. With all pride, I am an IPOB apologist. Just like I am a Shiite apologist. Just like I am a Shore and the Revolution Now's apologist. And just like I am a Yoruba Nation apologist. I am an apologist to the people who are doing everything to resist the criminals that my own parents, when I was growing up, told me never to become. As a Yoruba man, right? Let's even first start with the IPOB apologist. IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra, who are demanding for the peaceful dissolution of this contraption, right? Simply because an average Ronuku like you, Olori Buruku Dimeji Leleyin, an average Olori Buruku like you, right, would rather not have the Igbos. You want to have Nigeria without the Igbos in it. But at the same time, right, you probably never really wanted them to go. Because to some of you, if they attempt anything again, you are going to fight them. The IPOB has no business with Yorubaland. IPOB did not come to Yorubaland and start kidnapping Yorubas for ransom. IPOB did not come to Yorubaland to kidnap Yoruba Obas and kill them and dare us to do our worst. You bastards, some Mwale Yorubas, because of Tiknumbu, you are such a coward that has given Yoruba a terrible name. By being so cowardice enough that they killed your Obas, you Olori Burukus couldn't even do pim. So yeah, I'm the apologist. They want their own Biafra. They don't want to be part of Nigeria. Nigeria decided to criminalize a self-determination. They criminalize self-determination. You, Olori Brukus, who are watching APC releasing terrorists, and you think you are going to call me IPOB apologist, and I'm going to be like, don't call me that. Fulanis are coming to Yorubaland, destroying our villages, ransacking our villages, kidnapping our people, raping our women. You are Shiri. Want me to feel bad that there is an IPOB. The system that also, right, orchestrated the killings of the Shiites simply because they told you that they didn't want the Shiites to become Boko Haram. You Olori Bruku Omali did their Banilujuja Baniloruko Jei, right? You are pretty much behind the same Boko Haram, aren't you? So no, if anybody calls you an IPOB apologist, it's actually a badge of honor because they want you to feel bad about it. Yeah? The criminals politicized the insecurity in the eastern part of Nigeria. And up to this moment, you have Nnamdi Kanu locked up in your DSS. And you as a human being, you actually think that is normal, right? You are keeping him for 4 years and you couldn't even prove what is done wrong other than what you have put in your media. But you as a Yoruba person, why are you obsessed with the IPOB in the first place? Simply because your obsession is mainly the hatred your parents raised you to become. You are the symbol. Most of you are just the replica of your parents, the horrible people that raised you, that make you so kind of like energetic, right? To continue to chase frivolities and ignore the real thing that is destroying you and your people. So you're more now. Oh, get me. IPOB is not saying they want to rule Nigeria. Their criminal politicians are in bed with your own criminal politicians, claiming one Nigeria. So how has that worked for you so far? How? They are killing our people in Kwara right now. You Olori Brukus are not even angry. But you want to kind of call somebody an IPOB apologist and make them feel bad. Like you have actually done something. Oh my God, it's done something so unique. So don't let anybody kind of gaslight you, okay? Tinubu doesn't represent Yorubas. If it does, of course, we'll probably be safer right now than Katsina. But they have done so well, right? So socially conditioned these Ashiri, Radaradas, right? They conditioned them to, decide of their brains, right? To block everything going on or happening to them and pay more attention to whatever it is, the fear that these rogues are feeding them. And to make it worse, not make the matter worse, these Olori Brukus are dividing themselves along the line, I mean, the tribal, ethnic, and the rest. And they are criminal politicians, they are criminal leaders. They are hobnobbing together. They are even bringing their children to one another. But one Ashiri, Olori Bruku Dimejinilewan, is on social media right now, wishing and fighting this tribal war. Abi, keypad warrior, tribal champion. They don't represent Yorubas, okay? Just so you know. And that's what I'm saying. The way they feel towards some of you are non-Yorubas, that you think, oh, the Yorubas are this, Yorubas are that, you are not smart. These guys hate themselves. They hate who they are. Do you understand? Voluntary slaves. They don't represent Yorubas. These are the Omuale Yorubas. Now let's go back to Lagos, where the Arewas who have been on that Alaba Suru land for over 50 years with documents to show that indeed they were not occupying the land illegally. No warning, no compensation or review, just demolition. The shock shook these northerners, right? That they are like, what did we do wrong? I don't understand Hausa much, but I think I have a Latu here, and I have maybe a few others who can help you do interpretation in the comments. I'll come back and tell you what they said from what I have.
Nigeria muke ainihin biyayya ga gwamnati mai ci a jihar Lagos domin mu zauna lafiya da dukiyoyinmu da iyalinmu. So a ƙarshe sakamakon da ya biyo baya shine ga irin sakamakon da ainihin gwamnatin Lagos ta saka mana a zuwan cewa wai abin da za a yi mana za a yi abin da ake kira renovation, kuma babu wani ka'ida, ba notice, babu ainihin kiranmu a yarjejeniya da mu za a ba mu wani ko compensating ko ga wani abu da za a saka mana yi sakamakon lalata mana dukiya rana tsaka ba tare da ainihin mun zo mun janye dukiyoyinmu ba tare da sanar da mu cewar ku koma guri kala ba. An zo an lalata mana dukiya, an kacaccala mu, an wulakanta mu, an fiddo mu fili, kuma a halin da muke ciki yanzu ba mu san menene ma makomar mu a nan kasuwar ba. A zahirin gaskiya abin da yake faruwa, wannan kasuwa in ka ce an rushe ta ma gaba daya ka faɗi daidai, domin abin da ya rage din a cikin abin da ya saura wanda ba a rushe din ba bai taka kara ya karya ba. Kusan in ce a cikin kaso 4 na kasuwar nan an rushe kashi 3 daga cikinta, wanda zai rage bai huce ainihin kaso 1 ba daga cikin kaso 3. To kukanmu na farko dai a karan kanmu ba mu da wani ƙarfi, ƙarfinmu sai dai Allah. Sannan muna kira da gwamnati su yi mana adalci. Mu dinnan 'yan Najeriya ne, kuma muna zaune a Najeriya ne, domin jihar Lagos Najeriya ce, mu kuma 'yan Najeriya ne. Sannan dokar ƙasa ta ba duk ɗan ƙasa damar ya je ya zauna inda yake so, ya sai abin da yake so, a sai damar da abin da yake so. Kuma zaman mu a nan gurin ɗin nan karazi ba mu zauna gurin nan karazi ba. Lokacin da aka ba mu kasuwar gurin nan ainihin Alaba Rago, an ba mu ita wani guraren ruwa ne, wani gurin sako ne, wani gurin ramuka ne, haka aka ba mu ita. Kuma duk wanda za a ba sai an auna maka, an sa maka kuɗi ka siya ka biya, gwamnati ta ba ka takarda allocation. Sannan idan za ka yi gini sai gwamnati ta ba ka takardar shaidar gini ka biya, sannan ka yi gini. Sannan bayan wannan duk shekara akwai kuɗin da ake kira kuɗin kansil, muna biyan kuɗin kansil duk shekara. Amma a ƙarshe a ƙa'ida in za ana so mu ba da guri, ya kamata a kira mu a zauna da mu kamar yadda na ce, a yi yarjejeniya da mu. In wani guri za a canja mana a canja mana, in babu gurin da za a canja mana a biya, a babu abin da ake kira compensation, saboda a rage mana raɗaɗin da ya kamata a rage mana. Amma wannan a gaskiyance zalunci ne ba kuma gyara ba ne, wannan kwace ne, kwacen da ake kira stolen mandate, wato kwacen iko. Wannan shi ne abin da gwamnatin Lagos take so ta mana a zahirin gaskiya. Sunana Inusa da muke da to gaskiya abin da na rasa nan ya kai shago 26 ne ko da 8, domin akwai ina da gidajen wanka guda biyu a nan inda aka rusa. Ɗaya shaguna 12 ne aka shaguna 12 ne a waje daya aka bugi aka mai da shi. Ɗaya kuma shago 10 aka bugi aka mai da shi gidan wanka. A iloban da su akwai shaguna guda 6, kaga an hada zai kai shago 28 wanda na rasa a nan inda aka rushe din nan.
A wannan kasuwa ba kuna biyan duk haƙoƙi na gwamnati, kuma sai ga shona biya zuwa.
Wannan kasuwa duk gini da ka gani a nan kasuwar babu wanda gwamnati ta gina, mu muka gina da kanmu. In ma gwamnati ta zo ta auna condition kawai take bulo 3 kawai shi ta sayar maka, sai ka zo ka ci gaba da gini. To a haka muka gina wannan kasuwa, tunda ni ma na kai shekara 30 a wannan kasuwa. Na kai tun 91 na fara zuwa nan kasuwar, nake nan cikin kasuwar Alaba Rago.
Mana kaman asarar da mutane suka yi.
To gaskiya wannan bangare na shago 28 na rasa. Akwai abokina amini na ne, kayan marayu ne a hannun shi, gidajen wanka guda 9 inda aka rusa nan kayan marayu ne, abokina ne, garin mu daidai rukar kan mutum da shago, gidajen wanka 9 ne a hannunsa aka damga amana na marayu ne. An rusa su a nan wajen da muke abin nan shago, gidajen wanka guda 9. A banda shi akwai shaguna wanda suka sassaya a nan suke karban haya, wallahi ba san adadin su ba. Wallahi mu dai wannan al'amari duk abin da Allah ya shine mai kyau. Mu musulmi ne, musulmi duk inda yake ya kamata daman akwai jarabta
mun wani ɗauke wannan jarabta ne daga Allah, duk abin da Allah yi kuma mun barwa Allah, duk abin da Allah yi wanda suka aikata wannan abin suna gani sun yi, in sun yi daidai ne suna Allah yana kallon su, in ma sun yi ba suna gani abin da suka yi daidai ne Allah yana kallon su, in kuma abin da suka gani in sa tsoron Allah ya kama su, imani ya zo musu, su ji tsoron Allah, abin da suka yi za mu mutu, kuma duk abin da za mu mutu za mu tare da Allah, abin da mutum ya aikata shine zai tare da shine zai zo da shi a gaban ubangiji. Mu dai wannan abu an cuce mu, an zalunce mu, saboda haka mun dangana da Allah, duk abin da Allah ya shine mai kyau, amma gaskiya an cuci, ba a taba wulakanta mutumin arewa ba a nan Lagos. Ni dai a gani na ban taba ganin irin wannan bala'i ba, ban taba ganin bala'i irin wannan ba. A zo gireda guda 4 zuwa 5 a zo a yi ta rusa mutane dukiya, ba notice ba komi, a dinga rusa mutane dukiya. Ni dai ban taba gani ba, gaskiya an cuci mutane, an zalunci mutane, an cuci mutane, an zalunci mutane.
Kali. Said that notice, but nothing. You know, that's how they operate. And if you are a troll like me that monitors every sort of like happenings on social media and even off social media, right? You probably would have stumbled on the reactions of the Ronukus to that video. And that's why you're going to be like, what exactly is the aim of these guys? Are they working to actually divide Nigeria? And some of us are not really getting it. Because when you look at the actions and the reactions of these rogues, the actions of their leaders and the reactions of the cretins, yeah, it will come like say, oh, more. It's like these guys are on a mission to actually divide Nigeria, which somehow may actually be a good thing. But this is not how we want the contraption to be divided, with hate, you know, strife and targeting one another. Because that is not going to end well. That's not how to actually divide a country. We would want a divided Nigeria where everybody comes to that table and agreed on the terms and conditions of the, you know what I mean? Like, but with the way Tifnubu and his gang are going, it's like they are on a mission to, by the time Tifnubu is done, you won't need to really convince anyone to say, let us break up. You know, I don't think it will be good enough to lower our own guard, especially if you let them define the narratives of how everybody will go, because you can't have one Nigeria that says every Nigerian can live in anywhere they want to without being targeted by anyone. But we have seen where they have used the instrument of state to target people simply because of where they come from. You want me to give you an example? Easy. Nnamdi Kanu. They use the instrument of a state to track and kidnap a self-determination advocate, a referendum advocate, a peaceful dissolution campaigner. Yes, that is weaponizing the state against an individual or group of people because of where they come from. When the same government, the same security agents are disarming themselves to go and meet murderous terrorists, Fulani terrorists, in a peace meeting in the same country. You don't need any other example, do you? You shouldn't be, because examples abound. That's how you, so when you decide, right, that you have a Balogun market, then you have Alaba International Market, and then you have Alaba Rago Market, which somehow by their names will tell you, right? They probably represent the three big tribes in Nigeria, as they say: the Hausas, the Yorubas, and the Igbos. And you want to do a market reform where you said, oh yeah, we are trying to do market reform, and you say, okay, we need to clean this market because you are not managing it well. And your approach then is, oh, Balogun market, let's talk to them and make sure they clean their environment. Alaba International, no, demolish everything. That's the solution we can have here. Alaba Rago market, demolish everything. In a more divided country that you have right now, so when you use the instrument of state to target people's economic existence, that is weaponizing the instrument of state against a group of people. You can't wash that off. It doesn't work that way. Nigeria is so divided and is so pronounced. No thanks to APC, starting with Bokwari. Now, Tifnubu is doing it in a grand scale. That a lot of people are now like, even the Northerners are in shock. Like, this nepotism in this level, we have never seen it like this. Well, just watch. By the time Tifnubu is done, if he rigged himself again and it gets to 2031, they won't need to preach to you. They will break up this contraption. Now you will just say, when do you want us to do it? When they are done with you. And I'm not a prophet of doom. It's simply because I'm not a pretender. I'm not going to look at something and be like, let's see the positive side. What is the positive side? That they are taking this market and giving them to Chinese, giving them to Lebanese, who pays more to these political criminals. Eh? We'll leave it at that. So my line is opened. I thought that Mr. Oribruku Dimejinile will probably call in, but that's what the Ronukus are. They're a bunch of cowards, keypad warriors. He picks up the phone right now, he may barely able to make any sentence without. I've had one or two before. You know. So at the end of the day, when a Ronuku calls onto my program, I remember one or two. At least I remember one, right? A Ronuku that calls into my Egun's political. Baba, to talk can become war. By the time the guy spent 2 minutes, he was agreeing with me. He called to tell me that, you see, it's not like that. So I started with him. By the time he was finishing his conversation, the way he agreed with me, 100%. Yeah, do you know that? Do you agree with me that so and so? Yeah, I know that one. I'm just saying, hang on. What about this so and so? Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Then the other, what about this one too? Yeah. Well, in fact, you are right, Jerry. It's just that all these people, now I said, no, don't go there. Don't say it. Because you're about to say, now only God could judge them. You came onto my program to tell me, right, I am being negative about these guys, like I'm making all these things up, right? So you want to now try to tell us what we don't know, only for you to end up agreeing with me. So if you are a Ronuku watching me right now, it will be an interest. I mean, I'm not going to shout at you. Forget about the, I like that to kind of make, I think, kind of like to get under their skins. When you're looking at me right now, as you're watching me right now, so imagine that you are the one I'm calling your name and I'm talking about. Maybe, serving you some ekwejebu, and you are seated there. Then you get more angrier. And then I keep talking and talking. You get more angry and then you grab your phone and it forces you to start typing because you need to reply. And then you are making a mistake in what you are typing. That moment your blood is already like rushing to your brain. Everything is like already, you are feeling, stop, calm down. pick up the phone and call in and say, yeah, my name is, and I am a Ronuku. And we are going to have a chat. Honestly, we'll have a chat. Because I actually gathered that I got trained by the best in this country. I got trained in what is called the customer service, as a customer service advisor, with the best Sky in the UK, the best. So if I want to possibly just listen, even if you think you are angry, right? So I got trained on how to disarm you. Yeah, disarm you, Obao. Yeah? Because all I have to do is just to let out whatever it is that you have crammed, that you want to say. Right? And then I pick from what you are saying. Low baton. Because you get to a stage that you can't probably like make things up anymore without sounding stupid. You get what I mean? So yeah, call in, let's have a chat. Don't just be a keypad warrior that is sending out vitriolic comments and all that. That is why we call it the brunch time. It's an open mic. Use it. So yeah, the point here is that injustice is the bedrock of that contraption. If you are currently able to manage the injustice by normalizing it, doesn't make it right. Your criminal leaders are so selfish, so greedy, that the only thing they could actually do to make themselves rich is to steal from you. They have no idea of how to create wealth without stealing it. When they meet an idea of any form of productivity, they ended up want to own it and then ruin it. So that is why the only thing they can do to make them to get rich is to steal from you. They steal your tax, they borrow your name, they steal the money, they print money in your name, they steal the money. And they are interested in your land because they are in choice areas. So they weaponize the government to take your land and give it to whoever they want to, either their proxies or what have you. And to them, that is the society. That's how it's ruling. Prince Jejeman is calling into. Where have you been? The Prince.
My good general, Mama.
The Prince.
It's Mike.
Prince Jejeman representing
IPOB for life, Mama.
That's him. Now, somebody called me an IPOB apologist, and I was like, is that to make me feel bad? Do you get that? Like,
a good compliment,
if somebody says, you Dismayegu, you are an IPOB apologist, I say, yeah, I am. So, is that a bad thing, Prince Jejeman?
Honor, like they give you, Baba. My badge of honor, like you don't know.
I go wear them with pride. That's what I'm saying. Imagine somebody who is defending the Fulani terrorists after they killed the Yoruba Obas, looking at me in my eyes and say, you are IPOB apologist. I'm like, is that to make me feel bad?
Now, it's terrible. Nigeria is a joke, my brother. Hey, I said, I can call him, I can say hello. You don't tell.
I know.
I've been so busy off our off. Sometimes I go there in between something. I go just, sharp. I go come out again.
Yeah.
But I deal with you, Baba.
I know. It's been uphill all over the place for a lot of people. So yeah. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for your consistency.
Thank you.
I want to also thank the Templars. And I do thanks for the support. Our Baba.
Thank you.
Respect all of you, yeah.
So,
and encourage more. Those who never do. We could join handles. This platform, our platform, must never go down.
Thank you.
It must never go down. So, Baba, I say I see one news. A very dark man. They say he carry the pursue kidnappers.
Yeah.
They with a beer handle, now they pursue kidnappers.
But in get security, all those policemen with the convoy. He wasn't alone. They just
army were carrying
like he was the one chasing kidnappers. No, there were policemen and other guys there.
Now be the commander, man. Now be the commander, according to the story.
That's what I'm saying. Like they made it look like he is, like he's the one who led. You know what I mean? So there was there was this operation, I think, right? And it's been in Edo for a while. So they heard that some people have been attacked, and somehow they put together a team, and he happened to be around the place around the time. So he joined the convoy.
Okay.
But they made it look like, say, now you hear the information, say kidnappers, this, so yeah, let's go and chase them. You know, no, it wasn't like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what could they look towards
this passenger bus, right, on the road? On I think it's Benin Akure or something road. It's like coming to Ondo State, right? So people traveling, so they stopped this bus and another car. So they've already taken, I think they've taken 2 people. Other people who ran into the bush, they were back on the road, calling for help. That was when their own cars and cars were coming. So they just rammed into it, and they went after those guys. It was like something happened so fresh. It wasn't like, oh, the cop very down to come and rescue us. Well, you know, trust me.
You know why I crashed that side? The reason why the story they're out there, man. Why I crashed that side is they get one interview where they do when talk and say when they ask them about the incarceration of man the car and why is he not coming out with vigor the way he doing on other issues concerning man the car, why there is no mobilization on his own side. The response that he gave, you know, is the reason why I crashed where he did. You see, he said that the kind of issue that the way is very dicey, that it has to do with terrorism indictment. And if you know what terrorism is all about, anybody that put in head there, now they will join you as being part of the group. You get what I mean? So I was asking him a question. So the kind of injustice he's fighting at the face of the injustice in Nigeria. So he went to oil governance. The children that are underage, that the level treason. He went to fight for them. Is the one that brought the issue to the burner. So that one, that carry their own terrorism. What is this called? It's different. It's different from now the canon.
Yeah, Prince Jejeman, let's kind of like look at it this way too. All right.
Okay.
People shouldn't be see Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself. People shouldn't be asking influencers, because Very Dark Man is an influencer, right?
Yes,
it's just that he's pretty much like an activist influencer. You can combine both, all right? So, number one, people shouldn't be asking people like that to use their position to mobilize for Nnamdi Kanu. It is, it's like, I don't know. So, but they can be asked to speak on it, speak to that. Do you understand me now? Like, have you spoken or, spoken against how Nnamdi Kanu is being treated, or you're just repeating what they are asking all of you to repeat? Because somebody like me right now won't go and ask, any influencer and say, oh, why have you not mobilized there
for Baba, no best. You see where I'm going.
Right.
We are equal to the task. IPOB is equal to the task.
That's what I'm trying to kind of mode. Like IPOB wouldn't want. I don't think his role will by any means make any impact on what the team themselves are able to do. You get what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Well, go on, Sha.
What I want to pin Baba there is this: is when Nigeria Fulani use Nigeria as a launch pad to do international kidnapping or something, and they come. No. You see, their aim was to see IPOB start activity of terrorism.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So, and they failed. When we went underground, you know, they now brought out everything they have, all their armory, to see how we are going to come, and they are going to launch themselves on the eastern region and cripple every business, so that the whole region will hate us. And by so doing, say they don't want this kind of Biafra. So that their plans and targets failed. Are you getting me? So my point where I'm heading at is that IPOB is equal to start to fight for their freedom. But the thing is that he is now like a savior of the youth. Do you understand?
To those, you know, it's their reality now, all right? But there are those people who have been in the trenches. That's what I was trying to say earlier, that you see,
okay,
IPOB can't put themselves in the same category of how some Nigerians are putting themselves right now, who are using him as a supposed bridge between their failed government and their own aspiration, or whatever they want. All right. See, what IPOB has faced and challenged so far, there is no group in Nigeria in the recent history that has faced that. The sacrifices people have paid, including blood, right?
Exactly.
So it will be so belittling, right, for anyone in the IPOB to look up to a very dark man. In the case of
my worry, Baba, sorry,
go on.
My only worry is that he was in kind of creating fear in people, not to talk about the injustice. Saying that anybody that comes to issue of Nandekar, because of the terrorism tag there, that the person is gonna have issues. You understand? So if he doesn't want to speak for Nandekar, he should stay at home. We don't want him to speak. You understand? But inciting, but creating fear in people as somebody who they see as their point man, the savior of the youth in Nigeria. You understand? That word has a weight. That's what I'm against. You get what I mean? Because,
Prince Jejeman.
Yes.
I'll tell you something.
Yes, Baba.
Well. If for any reason, like you see, very dark man himself is a very smart guy. I want to believe. All right. So he won't want anything, no matter how much followership is got and the rest, right? I don't think he will want anything at all to have a clash with the IPOB on social media. Nobody wants to. Don't let us underrate what Baba. You guys frustrated the president of a country. He suspended Twitter. You don't forget.
No, I know. We did inside the
you frustrated Bokwari. Twitter deleted. Bokwari threatened the whole Igbo. Somebody, not be Bokwari type amo. Somebody within Bokwari's government took the phone and they typed that threat that Twitter deleted. Remember?
Yes, Baba.
I want to say, like they say, the silence of the tiger is not that of a coward. Do you get that now? So if the IPOB that people probably knows are somehow, right, fading from their mind of what you've encountered, you faced, right? So sometimes we should remind ourselves. So my own point is this. Influencers in Nigeria, they drive on fear, okay? And there are only few of them who have managed to monetize that kind of a thing, all right? So the effect of a very dark man in the Nigeria of today it's like a necessary evil. And by our standard, that is not the real standard to actually use in confronting the criminal in power. But it is a necessary evil that is filling in the gap, fulfilling some level of void for the people. Okay? So with what you guys have stood for in the last decade, right? It would be really, really like demeaning for anybody to. So whatever any influencer says about the IPOB, I don't think they are really relevant. Nigeria government has been spending tens, if not hundreds of billions of Nigeria money, locally and internationally, right, to blacklist IPOB. They didn't succeed.
Exactly.
You get it now. So what is it that the influencer in Nigeria will say that others have not said before? People have went on TV, they called Nnamdi Kanu terrorists, they've called IPOB this and that. They swallowed their words eventually. So I just thought I should put that out there, okay? So if it's
it's a very good point, Baba. But I want to drop Baba, I want to drop this on your platform diary.
Right.
So that whenever we want to revise, we can also you can always refer to it.
I get you.
To me personally, it's a personal opinion. Yeah, don't get me
wrong.
won't
be the only person thinking like that. I only just want you to know that there are some certain things that they are not really, that effective if you come to think of it. But they are also damaging. Yeah, all those rhetoric, all those things they cause. I mean, there are people that will say, yeah, it's the IPOB this, is the IPOB that. But when you probe them further, they become so stupid. They will say, but that's what I heard now. That's what they are saying now. Do you get that now? That's why I'm not trying to add it to it. Because you are not the only person who
that's fine. That's fine. So I want to add to this.
All right then.
To say my own personal opinion. Based on what happens sometimes, because sometimes you do plus and minus. That's what we do to get our own focus. But sometimes they say you are prophet or you are that. There was sometimes that a very dark man, he wanted to project Shei, and when there was a backlash, he withdrew.
He pushed okay now.
I hope you remember.
I do.
So, on my own personal opinion, I see him as a kind of weapon of APC fashioned against the youth because of obedience to capture the youth wing, where Obi have strength.
Do you really think he can?
Let's watch towards 2027. I don't know if he can, but that's what me personally think. The personal opinion. Yes, Baba.
Let me tell you something again, Prince JJ Man.
I hear you, Baba.
Nigeria, from experience now, you are likely going to agree with me. And if you don't, it's fine. All right. So Nigerians, from time immemorial, they have always found somebody or something to blame as what is distracting them from challenging their criminal leaders. There were times that people said the reason why Nigerians couldn't confront their criminal leaders was because of Big Brother Nigeria. At a point, they even said the APC, they sponsor them. That they are more invested in it. The issue of Nigeria. The thing is that Nigerians have always been so divided when it comes to their common interests. It didn't start from our own generation. It just got more exposed, now. Very dark man and others, and whatever they are doing, especially VDM himself. I don't know. Again, I'm not a prophet. I can't really see the future. I also believe that he's a very smart guy. Okay? Like you said, when he started pushing something that even his own followers were like, no. He sensed it. He didn't push further. He cut it off straight up, right? It is the same thing. He can't influence anything per se. Do you understand? The only thing they can really do is to help spread fear. Most of the time, the criminal politicians in Nigeria, okay, they wanted these conversations, these distractions, and the rest, as much as people are saying. But they know all these distractions have nothing to do with whether people want to face their criminal leaders or not. They just need an excuse to say why they are not. Baba, I've had conversations on social media that were so discussed, debated, and it was heated, viral. Do you get that now? I have never seen anywhere that something happens and people are reacting angry. And then they say, you know what? We are moving to the streets now. It is not a Nigerian thing. But you get to see that most of the people who are going to tell you that somebody is distracting them, what they are actually doing is they are calling you to go and join the distraction and stop talking about what you are talking about. Because in the long run, everybody just needs one thing or an excuse why they can't fight. So for us of Mayegun's Diary Political, I know some people believe that I've had people say things. Showore is being used to distract and divide this. Meanwhile, the entire vote of Showore since the time he's been running is not up to 100,000. Here you get. So it's there to distract and divide the votes. Here 100,000 votes go make opposition lose election in Nigeria. We see Nigerians who are passionate and continue to spare their energy rather than use that same energy to face the ones who are serious or issues that are serious. Here you get. They won't. Yes. They are there. When you see anybody right now, if you go onto this same YouTube or Instagram or wherever you will see 20,000, 40,000, 100,000 watching somebody who is just dancing. You know, it's there dancing. And they are there watching, commenting. Ah, well done. Beautiful. You are so amazing. I love you. The same set of people will now come under the political post. And they will say, this is the issue we should be talking about. People are talking about that very dark man is distracting us. That Showore is distracting us. I've seen that many times. Here you get. And I don't think we should join them in believing that. Although I don't control what people will believe. Here you get. But when you see people say all those things, they are distracting us. Kinko is distracting us. No, they are not distracted. Nobody is distracted. Everybody knows what that they do. I don't lie you. Everyone knows what that they do. They just need an excuse to tell you why they won't do the right thing. Just an excuse. Baba? That's why those of us who have time to pay attention to what is going on, read up, get up to date, we should keep our mind so we should keep our mind so watered enough that it doesn't grow dry. That will begin to entertain all those distractions per se. I don't know how long it's going to take.
Baba, can I use 1 minute to drop the last one? Have you no time?
Sorry.
Okay, Baba. Another thing I want to drop on your diary is this. I've thought over this thing over and over and over again, Baba. Do you know that in Africa, if not in the world, it's only in Nigeria that the security services like DSS, the army, will come out boldly, shamelessly, to be telling their people to defend themselves, to go and learn karate and boxing on how to defend themselves.
Well,
you understand? This is an evidence that Nigeria is a failed state. And Nigeria, I don't think there is any sense in Nigerians coming together talking about anything election when they are telling you to defend yourself, election or selection. I get what I'm saying.
I'm with you.
I've thought over this madness. I don't know if you reason along this line.
What do they mean by defend yourself? What do they mean by
army chief? Okay, Mayegu, before you proceed, the army chief, this one they call CDS Musa, and the DSS one. I don't know his name. You see, Mayegu, in Constitution of Nigeria, the Constitution of Nigeria, this day you put on script. Amazing. The Constitution of
could defend themselves now. You know, see, make them go learn karate.
Which thing? Mayegu, you go keep person.
As you talk, that's what I remember.
Mayegu, do you know that in the Constitution of Nigeria, you are not permitted as a citizen to carry an automatic rifle? You get what I mean? And the terrorists are carrying automatic rifle. Now your country is telling you to defend yourself without, first of all, gazetting it in the Constitution for you as a citizen to have right to rifle. Now, if you manage to smuggle any automatic rifle to openly defend yourself, the army will clamp on you and you will be the terrorist that you are trying to fight. They will gun you down. The next thing they will say you will be your ESN. That is an innocent person who tries to defend him or herself.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Man was
So you see that
in Adamawa, remember now?
Exactly, my brother.
And you know what the Supreme Court said? The Supreme Court said he should have run for his life. And also they said he had a chance of running, especially when he took the knife from his attacker, that he should have run away. And the guy said, but I was stabbed twice. It was during the fight that I succeeded in taking the knife from him. He wanted to kill me. And I defended myself. They said they should go and die by hanging. Now everybody is now begging them to do that. Said, please, so Tampa justice with Matthew. So now they said we should defend ourselves. Now, do you know that a Katsina lawmaker? I'm putting up the video now. So a Katsina lawmaker decided to actually take that advice. As some are learning karate, like this man, like this woman's husband, who lost the person who lost one leg, one arm. They tell us he go to karate to defend himself.
Nigeria.
Do you get that now?
Nigeria.
Yeah.
Nigeria.
So a Katsina lawmaker, right, has succeeded in taking the advice of the COS, I think Chief of Defense, CDS, Musa. He's taking it literally, and he's going to go and get licensed guns for his own community. And they've started training. Let's see if I have the video up already. Give me 1 sec. Let me show you.
Kakan sulolin mu nan tare da bai gima dan majalisa wani rubutu total wurin training na diddigogin da ya kawo a matsayin gudunmuwa ga balakar da ke halba. Alhamdulillah.
Go on, Bidi. I've been at 6.
Yeah. Ask me, say, which kind gun be this? Now, double barrier now. It's no better past stick and stone.
Jesus Christ. Mayegu, do you know that this CDS, I'm going to call his name Musa, and that's a DSS head. I don't know his name.
Ajayi.
Both of them supposed to be in jail if Nigeria is a normal country. Because now they cannot that want to defend themselves, that they are telling Nigerians to defend themselves, to show you that these people are terrorists. So this CDS and the DSS head. They went international. Fulani used them. Those this CDS and the DSS. There is them that organize the kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, illegally, and bring him to Nigeria. Are they not terrorists? Because Nnamdi Kanu is what he's advocating is for the defense of his people, so that the terrorists that Nigeria is telling you to defend yourself against. We will not kill you.
Locked up, right? With Trump charges for the same thing that they asked everybody to do now, yeah?
So kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu automatically shows that all these CDS head, this Musa, and the DSS head, they are the main terrorists in disguise.
I agree.
Because you cannot kidnap somebody who is fighting for the defense of his people, and you are telling the people again to defend themselves. How does it correlate?
No, it doesn't.
Quota system education don't kill Nigeria. Mayegu. Thank you very much, Daddy. I leave you. God bless you, Baba.
And you too. Yeah, everybody's on the run. This is what it looks like when the terrorists approach.
Bandit is going. Bandit is going.
The bandits are coming. Bandits are coming.
That's why it feels like whenever the bandits or the terrorist approaches. Let's take this. Here. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Baba, how are you?
Baba, yeah,
Daniel, how your side?
I'm not too bad, though. My good, not bad at all. I was a good care and the kids, Baba.
Well, they are doing well, Baba.
You see, your show is very, very funny. Sometimes when you call in, you don't even know if you're going to get through or you're going to, and you just like 2-3 times, and then you are. The reason why I called in it.
Brunch time is the best time. It's not so busy.
It is. If you can manage to write up your points and everything, just wait for a brunch time and come and explode. Come and dig out everything you've written down, everything that you are thinking. I'm going to be quick because I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't watch the show from the beginning. So, but as soon as I tuned in, this man was talking about something that I mentioned online, which is regards to people defending themselves. I went all in when it comes to that. When I saw that post on Facebook, when I was going to comment, why would we CDF, CDS, so I take my Yolori Buroku. Technically, your man will come at you. See what you wake up on the 7 singing. That's it. Baba, that's it. I set up with people. Those people now we think we go for they have got guns now. We're going to face these terrorists. Let them come. I'm an Papa, stupid and bastard. Because at the end of the day, these people think they are dealing with people who are not combat ready. These guys are combat ready. Look at the sophisticated weapons they are using. If you have been following what has been going on in Libya and all over the science, they think it's only Nigeria these guys are operating. They are operating all over the West Africa. Stupid and bastard.
You self,
yes, I'm listening.
Mad. Can you get me now? You can't say you get a green belt, I be black belt, I be red belt.
Black belt in karate.
The sound of gun, Baba. You don't know those guns, eh?
Yeah.
All those bullets. Maybe say. If you enter, you know, also if you enter drum like that, like this, it go big when you come out. Or this one. You can't see they don't fire like 200 shots. Karate go my feel on my salon. Your karate of you.
Baba, just to the follow. I just can't come back the bush is shelling. Okay, tomorrow karate to everything. Yeah, we are talking about war. This is war. This thing has been going on for ages. We are talking about people with sophisticated weapons. As in M16, M17, we are talking about RPGs. And then you're going to go and get pump action. You can tell that these people are so stupid. They've got no knowledge. No combat knowledge. If you have any combat knowledge, you will not go ahead and go and buy some combat shop. What happens
to license me?
Yes, but the thing is, please know, Baba, what happens to the equipping our actual army? Like that guy that just finished on the phone to you just said. You want to go and fight people who are already combat ready with AK-47. They don't know how to shoot. They've never been in any combat in their life, and you want them to go and face people with proper weapons. I mean, it's just not ridiculous, Baba. It's not just ridiculous. It's suicidal. It is suicidal. You want people to die. Let's just put it like that. Get away. You've got no knowledge of what is going on. You just want to set your people up. It's just funny, Baba. What is most interesting is that you watch very soon, you will see all those weapons being picked up by all these terrorists, because they know that you don't go and do this. They're going to come for those people. They're going to come for them. Deliberately come for them. That's why I wanted to comment, because I made mention of this, and one of the Ronukus came for me, and it was like use your brain. Even if you can't prepare yourself physically, prepare yourself spiritually.
You know that what they do most of us be say we have not really seen war. Do you get that now? So if Nigeria with over 300,000 military personnel could not put out 50,000 of them to confront these terrorists with sophisticated weapons like them, and now Kabul, all of us go. Maybe right? See, maybe it's sentence, right? However, someone with pump action, right? And somebody with nothing. At least one is likely going to still be able to take down his attackers, maybe one or two before he goes down.
But the thing is this is what I'm trying to say to you, Baba.
Right.
It is all very good making this investment and trying to protect your people. It's better than nothing. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. But when you look at the level at which everything is being done, there is no proper training being given to these people. What are their motives? What are they going to try and do to try
that gap not be filled?
You understand?
Because what they are promoting right now is like Nigerian military is overwhelmed. That's the picture they are and therefore citizens have been drafted in. Sure you get.
All right, let me just tell me when it comes to that, Baba.
Right.
I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I think it is. I might be wrong, though. Everybody's got their own opinion.
To be wrong, of course.
We are, Baba. I'm going to tell you something now. We have the most powerful army, if not the most powerful, I'll say maybe second or third in West Africa. Everything that is going on in that country, in that aspect,
compromise now. But go on, Baba.
This is what I'm about to say. Politically, everything has been compromised. People in government know what is going on when it comes to the terrorism of that country. They do know what is going on. Go and look at what Abacha said when Abacha was in power. Any insurgency carries over to the power, and government knows about it. The government knows about it. The government of Nigeria is more equipped than all these people. They have more firepower than these people. We were the ones that West African countries used to go to when they have uprisings in their country. Now we can't even defend our own ground, our own land. You understand me, Baba? I'm just going to leave it at that.
All right. I'm with you.
A lot of us, Baba, a lot of us have been on this matter for a short of 2-3 years that we have been crying and shouting. Why do we want to start giving you
sure you don't understand
examples?
Baba,
Put you have to come to these things. Baba, you have no experience. I'm checking.
Because of our own vested interest in all these happenings, so many of us have actually become experts. That if we have the authority and the resources, we believe that we can actually crush the insurgents and their sponsor. Now, me, where they here, right? If you take a look at this map on your screen right now, yeah, and you take a look at the place, the Yoruba side, yeah, on the left, at the top of that Yoruba, you see that white line, that white line that crosses to the end, to the far right. Now, imagine a government that has over 500,000 military and paramilitary personnel, right? Most of them trained to carry arms. You get that now? Now, imagine if you now station from this. So you see that top end on the left where you have the Yorubas, yeah? That top, at the top where they write Yoruba. You see that place, that is around where we have the Yoruba North, the northern part of Yorubaland, or your state, going to Kwara. Do you get that now? Kwara. That place is all spot right now for terrorists. But imagine that you draft out, for example, you draft out 100,000 of your personnel from all the places, and you place them from this end on the left, from this edge, and you place them to the far right by building posts, like a military post that we say this is the command post. Divide them into 10 battalions, making up of 10 soldiers. Sorry, 10,000 soldiers. 10,000 soldiers from this end to this place, and then tell them to sweep the land. Baba, you get me now? Let them sweep up to the north until they get to the border where they have that yellow.
You know, this whole thing is gone way out of hand.
If it is going to last for a year, by the time they are done, the terrorism in Nigeria would have been reduced to probably 10%. Insignificant.
You know, it won't even be this bad. It won't be this bad. But look at the message you were broadcasting yesterday. They are thinking about increasing their own salary. They don't care. They don't care about ordinary Nigerians. And ordinary Nigerians are also the ones that will come for people like me and you.
And now,
when you are fighting, talking about their own
apologist
from nowhere. Sanity. Can you imagine? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to quickly praise you before I go. You are an amazing human being.
Thanks.
You've been doing this over 10 years now, because me, I remember watching you. But I said more than that. And you know you haven't stopped. It takes a special person to do what you are doing. Mayegun, have a good afternoon.
And you too, Baba. Thank you so much. Stay safe, man. You see, sometimes it doesn't really have to be popular. It just has to be right. That's what most of us are doing. And yeah, what I've been doing for over 13 years. Of what relevance is it going to be now for me to change? I am like this dry fish. Anyone try to kind of like change me into something that I've not tried to be in the last 13 years will end up breaking me, right? So I'm not attempting it. Thank you so much, Fiscal. Now that is where we are going to draw the curtain. I'm taking a little break, okay? I'll see you later, maybe this evening, right? Thanks so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the noon, and a good afternoon to you.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Ó sì tún ṣeré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Mayegun diary politico.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Mayegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé.
gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran.